They said true love is fragile, that in Nigeria, where hardship and chaos never sleep, marriages break faster than glass in a market fight. But tonight, at a golden anniversary dinner in Lagos, four couples proved otherwise. From wealth to poverty, jealousy to forgiveness, even a love once stained by a wild past, every story carried a sweetness that made the crowd whisper, "God, win!" And yet, beneath the laughter, secrets stirred. Because love is not a fairy tale, it is a battlefield. And only those who choose each other daily will still be holding hands at the end. The banquet hall glowed as if the sun had poured its last rays inside and shut the door behind it. Peach drapes framed the walls, fairy lights twinkled like playful stars, and soft high-life music floated through the air. At the center table sat Uncle Boma and Auntie Ifeoma, their fingers interlocked. Their eyes carried 30 years of battles fought and victory shared. The evening was not just about them. It was about the love stories they had inspired. The MC, a plump man with dimples that appeared every time he smiled, raised the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 30 Years of Sweetness. Tonight we've invited four couples to remind us why love is still the sweetest story of all. But I warn you, control your emotions. Some of their stories may make you faint from sugar. The crowd chuckled, and the double doors opened. The first couple, Chijioke and Amara, walked in gracefully. Chijioke, a respected businessman from Enugu, kept his hand on his wife's waist, while Amara, in a flowing emerald gown, smiled with eyes that looked like rain-soaked leaves. People whispered, "He still carries her handbag at the airport." And someone added, "She still hides love notes in his suit pockets." The second couple, Kunle and Bisi, entered laughing so loudly it felt like laughter had borrowed their surname. Kunle wore a cream agbada, while Bisi's Iro and Buba shimmered under the lights. She teased him, "Don't step on my toes, oh." He replied, "If I do, it's because your beauty distracted me." They giggled like teenagers sneaking sweets from a shop. Then came Osas and Ivy, fiery and elegant. Their walk screamed passion, but anyone could tell they probably argued in the car about whose cologne smelled better. Yet when Ivy leaned over and kissed Auntie Ifeoma's cheek, she whispered, "Teach me to be soft without losing fire." Ifeoma smiled knowingly. Finally, Adana and Liam entered. She a tall Igbo woman with proud strides, and he an Irishman whose eyes looked like he had traveled oceans just to see her smile. Whispers rippled. "Isn't this the same Adana who used to party wild in Abuja? And now she's married to an Igbo?" But when Liam leaned down to hear her smallest words, their doubt turned into envy. The MC clapped once. "Now, because love is sweet but honesty is sweeter, each couple will tell us the real story of how they met. And I beg no farming, truth only." The microphone first reached Chijioke. He smiled. "We met at a university charity event. She was selling books. I bought every single one, not because I needed them, but because I needed her attention." The hall erupted in laughter. Amara shook her head, blushing. "And he has been carrying my heavy loads ever since." Kunle and Bisi stepped forward. Bisi laughed as she spoke. "He came to my roadside jollof stand and claimed his wallet forgot him at home. I told him to pay with dishwashing. Ladies and gentlemen, this man washed plates as if heaven's gate depended on it." The room howled with delight. Kunle bowed dramatically. "My heart was already stained with her love, so the plates had to suffer." Next, Ivy smirked. "He corrected my grammar in a group chat." Gasps filled the air. "And you married him?" someone shouted. Osas adjusted his glasses. "Yes, because the only mistake I could not correct was the way my heart raced every time she walked in." The crowd groaned with delight. Finally, Liam took the mic. His voice carried calm conviction. "I met Adana on a day she didn't like herself. She walked into an art gallery, and I said a painting looked like forgiveness. She replied, 'I hope it's on sale.' I didn't buy the painting. I asked for something better. I asked for her Saturdays, her laughter, her tears, and she said yes. The hall fell silent, then erupted with applause. Even the singles pressed their hands to their chest, whispering, "God, when?" As the night deepened, laughter, dancing, and whispered prayers filled the air. But at the back of the hall, unseen by the celebrating crowd, Adana's estranged uncle slipped in quietly, his eyes fixed on her and Liam, his lips curved in a smile that was anything but sweet. Because while love was being celebrated, he had come to scatter it.
The following morning after the anniversary, Lagos was already awake before the sun. The honking of Danfo buses mixed with the cries of hawkers selling bread and akara. Yet, inside the hotels where the couple stayed, silence and tension brewed. Amara stared first. She turned on her side and watched Chijioke sleep. His phone buzzed on the nightstand, another message from his office. He had promised her he would be more present, but it seemed the whole world had its claws on him. She whispered, "Do you still see me the way Uncle Boma still sees Auntie Feoma?" Chijioke blinked awake, smiled, and kissed her forehead. "Good morning, my queen." But Amara's heart was noisy. Meanwhile, in Ibadan, Kunle and Bisi's reality was less glittering. They returned from Lagos to their small flat in a noisy compound. Children shouted 10-10 in the corridor, and neighbors argued over NEPA bills louder than radio presenters. That morning, Bisi stirred beans in the kitchen while Kunle tried his old towel at the waist. He sniffed the air dramatically. "Ah, my queen, is this beans or perfume? Even angels will come down for one plate." She rolled her eyes. "Keep joking. It's beans, because beans is what we can afford this week." Kunle sat on a stool, pretending to faint. "Beans with you taste like jollof rice." She chuckled, but quickly reminded him, "And yet, you still haven't fixed the leaking tap." He knelt dramatically, holding her hand. "Judge, please reduce my sentence. Instead of jail, let me fetch water from the well." She laughed, but her smile disappeared when he came home later that evening. His face was heavy. "Bisi, they let me go. The printing press is shutting down. I don't know how we are managed next month's rent." Bisi dropped her spoon, her eyes wide. Then she walked over, held his face in her hands and whispered, "Kunle, I didn't marry you for marble floors. I married you because even beans with you taste like party food. We will survive." Tears threatened his eyes. "You will make me love you more when I should be worried." "Then love me more," she replied. Back in Benin, Osas and Ive's mansion was quiet, but fire simmered. Ive had seen something that unsettled her. Osas laughing with a female colleague at dinner. In the car, she folded her arms. "So now your jokes are reserved for other women?" Osas sighed. "Ive, must everything be war? She's my colleague, nothing more. Should I cover her mouth from laughing?" "I don't like sharing your attention, not even with laughter." Osas parked by the roadside, turned to her and spoke softly. "Ive, listen to me. Every joke I tell outside is practice. But you are my only audience. If I lost your laughter, I would lose my rhythm." Her anger cracked. She tried to look away, but he touched her chin gently. "Smile for me, my fire." Despite herself, a reluctant smile crept onto her lips. "You and your sweet tongue. Sweet tongue for my sweet queen," he whispered, kissing her hand. But sweetness could not hide the sparks of mistrust burning beneath. And in Abuja, Adana faced her own storm. She returned from shopping to find Liam waiting with her mother in the living room. The older woman's eyes were sharp. "Adana, are you sure this Oyimbo will stay? Men like him don't last. One day he will leave you for his kind." Adana froze, but Liam stood tall. His accent was thick, but his words were firm. "Mama, I cannot change your fears, but I can promise this. I am not here for a season. I am here for a lifetime. If you doubt me, then test me. Watch me. I will not run." Her mother frowned, unsettled. Adana's heart swelled with tears. Later that night, she curled against Liam's chest and whispered, "Every time you defend me, my scars heal a little more." But she did not know that her uncle, the one who had slipped quietly into the celebration, was already spreading rumors in their village that she had bewitched Liam. By the end of the week, all 4 couples carried secrets. Amara longed to be seen. Bisi feared poverty might drown them. Ive battled her jealousy. Adana faced judgment that threatened to swallow her whole. And though they laughed at the anniversary, storms were gathering. Storms that would test whether love was just a sweet story or a daily choice.
The storm came faster than anyone expected. It was supposed to be a simple marriage retreat organized by Uncle Boma and Auntie Ifeoma in Lagos. Come, they had said, let us gather the couples once more. Let's remind ourselves why love is sweeter than palm wine. The 4 couples arrived with smiles, but beneath those smiles, storms brewed. During breakfast, Chijioke's phone buzzed for the 5th time. He excused himself from the table, muttering, "Just 5 minutes." Amara's eyes filled with quiet pain. She whispered to Bisi, "He can hold meetings for the whole world, but can't hold my hand without being distracted." Chijioke returned, expecting to charm his way back, but Amara finally spoke out, her voice trembling. "Do you even see me anymore, or am I just decoration beside your business empire?" The room grew tense. For the first time, Chijioke had no clever answer. Later, Kunle and Bisi received a call from their landlord. The rent deadline was approaching, and Kunle's new fish business had just suffered a flood. Half his fingerlings gone overnight. Kunle buried his face in his hands. "Bisi, maybe love is not enough. Maybe beans and laughter cannot pay rent." Bisi knelt beside him. "Kunle, I didn't marry your pocket. I married your heart. Don't let poverty shame us into forgetting who we are." Her words healed him, but not fully, because shame is a stubborn wound. That evening, during a game arranged by the MC, couples were asked to describe their partners in one word. When it was Osasi's turn, he smiled and said, "Ivy is fire." The crowd cheered, but Ivy's eyes narrowed. "Fire that warms or fire that burns?" she asked sharply, cutting the air like a blade. The hall went silent. Osas clenched his jaw. "Ivy, must everything be war? You doubt me even when I call you my crown." Her voice trembled. "Because every time another woman laughs at your jokes, I feel like a guest in my own marriage." Passion turned to smoke, and for the first time, Osas had to swallow his pride. Finally, Adana's storm broke. Her uncle, the same man who had slipped into the anniversary unnoticed, stood up during the retreat's open mic session. His words dripped poison. "Liam, you don't know the woman you married. This girl once disgraced our family. She was wild, reckless. You have been bewitched. Leave before it is too late." Gasps filled the hall. Adana froze, her face burning. But before she could speak, Liam rose. His voice carried the weight of oceans. "I did not marry Adana's past. I married her heart. If scars are proof of battles, then I am honored to hold the hand of a warrior. Love that hides is not love. So hear me, all of you. I will choose her loudly every single day until my last breath." The hall fell silent. Even the uncle could not respond. Adana burst into tears and collapsed into Liam's arms. The tension of the retreat reached its peak. Then Auntie Ifeoma stood, her voice calm but sharp. "Love is not perfume. It will not cover wounds forever. Love is not money. It will not pay rent by itself. Love is not pride. It will not bow to jealousy. And love is not gossip. It will not die from what people say. Love is a daily choice." Her words landed like rain after Harmattan. Chijioke turned to Amara and slid his phone into his bag. "From today, you are my meeting. You are my boardroom. I will not lose you to missed calls." Kwile stood up, his voice shaking. "Bisi, even if fish die, my love for you will not drown. I will start again, as many times as it takes." Osas took Aili's hands. "Forgive my pride. Fire can burn, but I choose to let it warm. You are my first audience, always." And Liam simply kissed Adana's forehead. "You are enough, always enough." Tears rolled across the hall. Even the singles at the back whispered like a prayer circle. "God, when?
If I am beans, let him stir me gently. If I am rain, let him hold the umbrella and still hold my hand. If I am laughter, let my marriage never lose me. That night, under the Lagos stars, the couples danced barefoot on the retreat lawn. No chandeliers, no fine music, just laughter, promises, and the quiet decision to keep choosing love. And those storms would come again, as they always do. Everyone who witnessed that evening knew one thing. This was the most beautiful story about love they would ever see. Because it wasn't a fairy tale, it was a choice, and they chose each other.